Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Jenny. Today's video is going to be my top fall eyeshadow palettes. I do have quite a few, but because there are different color schemes, I know a lot of times when people think of fall eyeshadows, they automatically think of the oranges and like the bright reds. I do have a couple eyeshadow palettes that have those shades in them, but I also have some more interesting color choices mixed in with those. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the two most popular that I think come to mind when people think of fall eyeshadow palettes, and the first one is the ever so infamous Morphe 35O palette. If you have not seen this, what kind of rock have you been living under? Of course, this palette has a lot of really nice warm oranges over here, but if you cover those up, you do have some nice neutrals. You have some like cooler neutrals over here, but you also have these really nice warm, more like red, orange kind of neutrals. So you can still get very, very wearable looks, but you can get some very fun, bright orange kind of looks out of this as well. I know that this is a very popular palette, and I know lots of people probably already have it, but in case you do not, this is a very nice palette. The next really popular one is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. It also has these really nice like warmy kind of neutrals, but they also have this really bright orange and then these really interesting like red and bright pink shades. As a whole, this one is a little bit more bold than the Morphe 35O because that one can be very neutral, where this one has a lot of pops of color. So this one is targeted more toward those who like bold looks, but the color range is definitely there for a fall palette. This is the most expensive eyeshadow palette I am going to show you today. This one is about $42, I think, and the Morphe one is about $20, I believe. I will link all of these palettes down below for you, and if I have a review on either my channel or my blog when I used to blog, I will link them down below for you as well. So the next one is the cheapest one I'm going to be showing you, and it is the Wet n Wild Comfort Zone palette, and I am talking about the newer one because it has these two really, really nice mattes. This shade is one of my all-time favorite eyeshadow shades. It's so interesting. But this is a really, really nice fall-like palette because it does have these two warm mattes, but then it also has some interesting all over the lid shades, like this really cool brown blue or this really nice green. It has some nice more neutral shades, a silvery kind of shade's really pretty. So it has a lot of versatility in it just with those shimmery shades. This palette's like $4.99 and it's a really, really nice drugstore palette. I do highly recommend this. So I do have 4 palettes left. 2 are from Bad Habit and 2 are from ColourPop. This first one is the Athena palette, and I have a review of this on my channel. I will link it down in the description if you are interested in checking that out. But I find this palette to be very, very interesting because it does have these typical like red orange shades, but it also has some really interesting pops of purple and some peach. All of these shimmers are really interesting, and of course you can keep it more neutral with like the reds or the golds or something like that, but you can also get into some of these shades right here that are those cool shifting duochrome shades, which can really bring your looks to another dimension. And this pressed glitter is pretty awesome as well. You do need a glitter glue with it, but overall I really think the color selection in this palette is very cool and very interesting for fall. I believe that this palette's around $16, and I think it was a Hush app exclusive. I'm not sure though. I will list that down in the description box as well. This palette is also a dupe for the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette, I believe. So I mean, if you have that one, you obviously don't need this one, but if you have this one, you don't need that one. And I think that this is a really nice, these are really nice quality shadows for the price. The next one is the Bad Habit Retro Love palette. This is the palette that I have on my eyes today. For this look, I went in with a mixture of Peace and Pop all in the crease. And then I took Rebel and Fab in the crease and the outer portion of the eye. And then I took Rock and Roll on the outer edges and the outer corners. And then lined with Nostalgia. I think that these shades are really, really pretty, and just like the Athena one, it has those nice like yellowy shades in it, but it also has some mauve-y kind of tones and a blue and a green, and then some like army green shades right here. This is a really, really interesting palette, and these shades are just deep and rich. That's what I think of when I think of fall eyeshadows or fall anything. It's just deep, rich pigmentation. And it has some really interesting shimmers. It has a traditional kind of like goldy bronze, but then it has this kind of green, yellow, and then this white pink. Really, really interesting color combinations. This is a dupe for the Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture. So just like the Athena, if you have this one, you don't need that, and if you have that, you don't need this. Shade-wise, this is a really nice dupe, and I think the quality of this palette's really nice. It was like $10 or $16. I also think this was an app exclusive, a Hush app exclusive, but I'm not completely sure. That will be listed down below as well. This next palette is probably no surprise at all, and this is the ColourPop Yes Please eyeshadow palette. If you are into the very warm orange shades, and this is definitely a palette for you, It has these really nice reds and oranges, and then it has this really nice bright pop of yellows. If you're into those very, very orange eyeshadows, this is definitely going to be a palette for you. ColourPop pressed eyeshadows are a really, really good formula. I want to say this is $10 or $15. Really good quality, really good price. I really, really like ColourPop pressed shadows. And the last one is probably one of my all-time favorite eyeshadow palettes, and this is the ColourPop You Had Me at Hello palette. Now this one you may look at and think, wow, that's kind of basic. Well, it is. I just feel like these are like a more neutral take on fall. You get these neutral but warm leaning mattes with a nice purple. I have a tutorial using this palette. I will link it up here for you or down in the description box or something in case you're interested. But overall, I think this palette is gorgeous. Perfect for every day, but I really do think that it would work great for fall. Throw on with a bold lip. Really good palette. So those are the palettes that I think are really great for fall. What palettes do you think are great for fall? Let me know. I would love to pick them up because you know I have an addiction to eyeshadow. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you would like to subscribe, please feel free, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.